Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Magic Kaito 1412 Episode 5. The best episode yet. Honestly. And I don't know if I mentioned these yet in my reviews, but I was really wondering what they were going to do to keep the series interesting. Because I figured they'd have to do something in order to keep the series interesting, you know what I mean? For future episodes and whatnot. And they answered that question in this episode. They're introducing actual magic, which never even crossed my mind. It never even crossed my mind that they'd introduce actual magic, because as we know, I think we all kind of figured, unless we were familiar with Magic Kaito before, which I was not, that magic doesn't really exist in the Magic Kaito universe. Like, there's only like magicians who play tricks, but no real magic spells and whatnot. But apparently there's these beings called sorcerers who know actual magic, and there's like red magic, blue magic, I think it's a green magic, black magic, and whatnot. So different colors of magic. And we did kind of get a little bit of red magic here. We didn't get a detailed explanation of what it actually does, though. All this sorcerer tried to do is use like a spell on the ground. A red spell on the ground so that Kaito can't move and is forced to do what she wants and whatnot. But other than that, we didn't really get a detailed explanation as to what it actually does. But either way, though. So yeah, and apparently sorcerers are like, they hate magicians. I'm guessing because magicians don't actually know magic, and so they're just playing tricks, and maybe they take it as like an insult or something. That sorcerers, all they're doing is just playing tricks. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's very interesting because it could be sorcerers that actually killed Kaito's father. Okay, that's something that I actually thought while watching this episode. It could actually be sorcerers that killed his father, so that could explain a lot already, even though it was only episode 5 of 24. And wasn't actually explained, but that could explain a lot, though, as to how exactly Kaito's father died. Now, those men before that we saw a few episodes ago who supposedly killed Kaito's father, didn't really look like sorcerers, but they could have been hiring sorcerers, promising to pay them handsomely if they killed his father. Okay. So obviously those men would have to be taken out as well, but so would the sorcerers who actually committed the murder. Okay. And the sorcerer that we see in this episode is a woman by the name of Akako, who ends up becoming a transfer student at Kaito's and Aoko's school, similar to that detective guy from the last episode. Imagine that, right? And she basically uses this magic to get all of the guys to fawn over her. However, the only one that she had no control over was Kaito. Well, technically Kaito Kid. However, she found out quickly that Kaito Kid was actually, or that Kaito was actually a Kaito Kid. So, yeah, she actually kind of has some brains in her head. I'm surprised, really. However, she ultimately fails in the end, obviously. Okay, with Kaito, of course, acting all cool, saying some like oddly romantic sounding words to her, even though he's obviously in love with Aoko. Okay, and this episode ends on a funny note with her as well. Still at their school, of course. So other than that, the only other thing that happened in this episode was, of course, some more romance development between Kaito and Aoko, which I'm definitely enjoying. Okay, it's cliche, but I still really love it. So yeah, but anyways, though, fantastic episode of Magic Kaito. Seriously. Like, the fact that they've introduced actual magic in this series leaves open a whole host of possibilities, and considering that there's like 19 episodes left in the series, I think, like, yeah, 19. Then they could introduce a whole bunch of sorcerers that have all sorts of different colors of magic and explain them in detail, and I just think it'll get really interesting. Now, okay, so this one thing that they did, introducing sorcerers and actual magic into the series, leaves a whole host of possibilities for the future. Okay. So yeah, so I really love this episode. If you have yet to see this week's episode of Magic Kaito 1412, then I definitely recommend that you do. I thought it was really good. I really have no major issues with it. Also, I want to mention the music real quick. The music in this episode was so fucking good. Like, just those those epic fucking orchestral themes. Yeah, those epic fucking orchestral themes when something's about to be introduced is just so fucking badass and so fucking amazing. Amazing musical choices for this series, especially this episode. So yeah, I thought this was the best episode of the series so far. I cannot wait for next week's episode of Magic Kaito. I'm actually kind of surprised this episode got translated so soon, because I think the day it's supposed to be translated is Sunday, but usually it doesn't get translated till like Monday or Tuesday. Like last week it was Tuesday, but I didn't review it till Wednesday. But it actually got reviewed translated yesterday, Saturday. Although I'm reviewing it on Sunday. But either way though, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.